Good morning. Welcome to Planet Mojo. I have an incredibly busy day today. Looks like all of the horses are together now. We've been wanting to do this for a good amount of time, but we had company and, just this, that, and the other thing were going on. We still need to get them grazing on this front part right here. There's a lot of nice grass there. Ton of stuff to do today. First, I got to get into the gardens, and I'm going to do a heavy-duty kind of a weeding. I'm going to open up areas where my prairie drop seed is getting shaded, and then just do the last of the weeding, and then spray glyphosate. So trimming and weeding in the gardens. I need to get in there and clean up the yard. There's a bunch of stuff still there from when we had our company here. Oh, I got a whole list written here. I have to spray all of the trees. They need to be sprayed with fungicide, and I'm going to spray fertilizer as well and bug killer. Then I have to go back once that dries and spray I call it stinkum, but it's deer repellent. The one tree over here is badly damaged, and I know deer have bitten at one of the trees, so I'll just spray all of the trees that are at risk. Then I really should spot spray in the vineyard. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get time for that or not, to get rid of the last of these Japanese beetles. What I would do is just take a hand sprayer and go up and down the aisles and spray the bug killer directly on the beetles I see. That should be plenty to get rid of the last of the beetles. At least I think. Then Natalie cut the grass yesterday. I got to cut the spots that she missed where stuff was, and she said she was scared to cut the Billy Road, so I got to get in there and do that. And finally, I got to get this tire back onto the lawnmower. This thing has been fixed 4 times now. I took it into town yesterday, and they finally just put a tube in it. They found a tiny little sidewall. That might be it right there. No, that's not it. But they found a tiny little sidewall hole that was leaking. It took like almost a day to leak out. So they put a tube in it, and it should be fine now. So I'm going to put this on, get that started up, and I need to cut along the road up there. So it's going to be a very busy day. I'm going to pop in here and there and show what's going on, and hopefully I can get it all done. All right, that's actually the first time that I hedged these vines up here, and they got way overgrown. They usually don't look like that. So now I can spray glyphosate underneath here. Wherever I find pigweed, I just yank it. There's some right here, and especially around the corner. Pigweed has a nasty tendency, once it's sprayed with glyphosate, to hurry up and go to seed. I don't think any of this would, but it's easy enough to just yank it before I spray. So now I just got to get into the garden and do the last little touch-up weeding. I did most of the weeding yesterday, and it's mostly going to be trimming around where the prairie drop seed is. If there's something shading it out too much, I'm not real sure about that one. I mean, it's getting shaded out pretty much, but it seems to be doing well. I just don't know. The grass looks really nice there. I don't know if I want to cut this out. Oh well, we'll deal with that as we come upon it. I'm going to start way down there. There's a patch where I did not weed at all. I'm gonna get that weeded, trim around stuff for the prairie drop seed, and possibly trim out some of the purple cone flower, and then that should be it for this stuff. Then I can move on to spraying the trees, spot spraying the bugs, and the other stuff. Looking really nice here. Yeah, I definitely got to spray around that stuff right there. That stuff is a real mess, whatever that weed is called. I'm going to have to find out the name of that stuff. But anyways, before I forget, right in the middle of this stuff somewhere, I went in the house and Cindy was on the phone with the neighbor down there. And the little girl that Natalie gives horse lessons to, her family spotted a mountain lion right up on the road up here. So it would be behind that house about maybe 2 city blocks, not far away. So we really got to check our trail cams and see if we have a bear like last year and possibly a mountain lion. So everything is kind of moving into the area that was kind of extinct for a while, or not extinct, but driven from the area. Okay, this is the area that I didn't get fully weeded. You could see all this bindweed right here. I'm going to get in here and weed this real quick, and I'll get back to you when it's time to spray. Okay, I am all done with the weeding. Next thing to do is spray the glyphosate. You can see the grass that I pulled out of here. This is all foxtail, and I'm not sure what this other grass is, but I'm going to do something different here next year. This year, when I burn this, you could see each head of each grass plant, like this big blue stem right here, which is looking gorgeous. The horse got out last year and cut everything off right here. So we didn't get to see this really tall stuff last year. But anyway, the heads of each of these prairie grasses, they're spread fairly far apart. So what I'm going to do is put a heavy mulch down in between them to keep this weed grass out of there next year. And then I'm probably going to plant some like drop seed or something on the ones that are fairly far apart. Like we got a big opening right here. That's weed grass right there. I could plant a nice drop seed right there. So it'll take a good deal of mulch, but that is what I'm going to do. I don't want to have to weed this. And then once the mulch kind of disintegrates, most of the weed seed should be gone by then. And I'll use a pre-emergent. Last year I used a pre-emergent on this area, and it was a lot easier to deal with stuff. Yeah, so we got some foxtail right there that I missed. I'll get that after lunch. I'm going to pick up all this stuff. Yeah, foxtail right there too. all of this foxtail has to go into the fire pit and get burned. Otherwise, the seeds will just make their way somewhere else, and I'll have a problem somewhere else. So this is looking really good, and I'll do a quick walk by of the other stuff. Here's all the stuff I got out of the front gardens. So I weeded around stuff, making room so that I can spray, like right in here. Some areas are just completely done. Well, I should say most areas are just completely done. I don't have to spray. And then this stuff, I'm gonna go through this and cut the heads off, and then I'll mulch the bodies of the plant, and then I'll just make a mixed wildflower seed that I can spread along the trails and here and there on the land. Okay, I'm gonna get some lunch, come back and spray the glyphosate, and then get on with the other stuff. All right, I just got back from lunch, and I remembered that yesterday I said that I would show a different view of the zinnia garden, so I'll walk along it this way. Yeah, I got to get out and spot spray. They're not that bad on the zinnias, but bad enough. And I don't want them coming back next year. But there it is. That is a gorgeous garden. And there's just tons of flowers coming. At some point, it's nowhere near ready yet, but I will deadhead this, and then it'll just keep coming for the foreseeable future. But this was just hand-tossed seed for those who didn't see it. I think I got video of me planting this garden, and I'll link to that above. So there it is, the zinnia garden. Just fantastic looking. And the other thing is that bird that was in the water trough down there. I put him in a box with some newspaper, ripped up newspaper and stuff, and brought him in the house. And then maybe an hour later, he started fussing in there, so I brought him out onto the porch. And she flew, about halfway down, and that was the last I seen of her. But she looked pretty strong, so I'm sure she made it just fine. I think she just needed to regain some strength because she was in the water for a long time. All right, now I got to move the gator over here and go collect the chemicals that I got to spray and get that stuff going. All right, I just missed it, but Blue and Windsor were like nose to nose and yelling at each other. Nothing violent, but they were making a lot of noise. And the other two didn't even care. There's little Frankie and Mark. Neither one of them cared. And it seems like they're trying to figure out what the pecking order is. Hopefully this isn't a bad idea having these guys together. Windsor seemed awful lonely over here by herself, but they should be able to work it out. All right, let's get them chemicals. Hello, ducks. Okay, I grabbed all my chemicals and dyes and stuff. I think I'm just gonna mix this back up. This is glyphosate with dye. I'm just gonna add another gallon to it. It's just below a gallon. I'll add another gallon to it and then get the gardens, and I believe I got stuff across the street to do. Oh geez, yeah, I should probably just mix 2 gallons. It's gonna be a while. All right, I will mix actually 4 gallons of glyphosate. I believe I have to get a ton of stuff sprayed, so might as well get it all done right now. All right, let's do that. Okay, I got my glyphosate all mixed up, and I think I'm going to use this one in the garden because it reaches all the way to the ground. But as you can see, it has a problem because of the long stem on it. It will leak a little bit, so I just got to be real careful to not drip it on stuff that I don't want to kill. And then I turn it up like this, if I remember, after I'm done spraying. But I rarely get this stuff on non-target plants, and if I do, I'll be able to see it right away, and I'll just take the leaf off and the plant will be fine. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one and work my way down the ditch gardens. But I got to do around these rocks here and around the garbage cans and around the shed over there. I got a lot of stuff where I got to kill weeds, so I better get moving. All right, I got everything sprayed. The spray on the rocks will go away in a couple days. This is actually a fairly weak mixture of the dye. So these horses, I don't know what they're doing. Okay, so I got around the edges. I got the grass that's going into the new garden there. And well, I got the edges all the way around, and then I got under the vines that were completely covered up until this morning. And just little spots here and there, and a little bit in the ditch, and that should do it. This will all die back, and I'm hoping to hell I don't have to do this again this year. I should be close to done. You can see little spots down in the ditch, and I got that area that I talked about earlier, and that actually took a while. I was really careful not to hit the prairie drop seed there, so I took my time and just spritzed a little here and there. All right, so I sprayed 1 full gallon, and now I'm going to switch to spraying the trees, and that is mostly fungicide, but insecticide and fertilizer in there as well. It's a pretty full tank. The reason for that is that stuff needs to dry completely. Then I'm going to go around and spray deer repellent on it. The deer have been just doing a little bit of nibbling on these trees up here, and the horses chewed the hell out of the trees over here. So I want to stop both of them from eating my trees. Not much chance of the horses doing it right now because they're over here, but they'll be back over here in the not too distant future. So what I'm using is mancozeb and mycobutanol are both the fungicides, and I'm just using all-purpose water-soluble fertilizer and an insecticide, triazonon, I think. So let's get up there and spray the trees. Then I can get back to spraying the glyphosate, and I'm not sure how much time I'm gonna have. It's already getting kind of late. I would like to spot spray the Japanese beetles down in the vineyard, well, and up here as well. They're all over the place, but we'll see. Let's go get these trees sprayed and see how much time we have left. Well, this doesn't look good. I've got these ragged yellow edges on a whole bunch of the leaves. I don't know what the hell that is. Damn. But other than that, the tree is really growing good. This is the first tree here. Got the neighbors are kind of right there, so I'm trying to be quiet. All right, let's get down to there. All right, I'm not going to do a review of all of the trees again, but this is the second tree, and it doesn't have, oh yeah, it actually does have it a little bit. I'm going to have to look that up, but it's got a lot of new growth over here, the purpley stuff, and a lot of new growth down here. So I guess all in all, they look pretty damn good. All right, let's get moving. All right, this is the tree that I saw the damage on from the deer, but I can't see it now. Maybe I was mistaken, but it has a lot of new growth up here, which is pretty nice. But this is right on the deer trail. That's the walnut tree right there, and the walnut trail goes down right that way. So they walk right past this. So I'm going to get back out here and spritz. Well, I'm going to spritz this one and the ones this way. I don't think they're going to get any of these. And then this is one of those nearly dead trees, but it appears to be having somewhat of a comeback. Not much though. I really don't have a whole lot of faith in that one. The other one that's kind of dying like this right there has a whole bunch of nearly full-size leaves way at ground level. So that one might make it if you cut the stick off on the top. But I don't have a whole lot of faith in this one or that second one over there. All right, now for the big two. Well, actually, these are all fairly big, so let's go get them sprayed. Okay, I didn't think I was gonna have to show a bunch of stuff on these trees, but this one has a shoot coming up out of the ground. That's pretty cool. But I don't know if I want a double tree like that. I don't know, maybe. I'll let it go for a while. This tree has never really done that much, so maybe that'll pass up this main tree and I can get rid of the main tree. Who knows? And then this one has always looked pretty nice. But like all the other trees, it has, you know, stuff like this. Oh, some kind of insect right there. I'm gonna have to get back over here and spray the underside of the leaf there. Oh, that is too. Okay, so these little yellow spots are some kind of an insect. They're probably not harming the tree too much, but they need to leave my trees alone. All right, I'm gonna give these another little spritz on the underside. Then I got one tree there, and the two that were chewed on by the horses. All right, I'm on the last of the big trees. You can see where it was bitten off right here and right here, and it's shooting out a whole bunch of new stuff, so it's gonna do just fine. We just need to get this fence a little bit bigger and not let the horses at this, and it should be just fine. Okay, this is the tree that got bit by the horses the worst. You can see it's kind of empty on this side, but all the spots where they bit, well, actually kind of everywhere on the plant, it's taking over for that by adding extra new growth. It's got a lot of new growth pretty much everywhere. This is where it was bit right here, and this is all new growth right here. So at some point you won't even be able to tell it was bit, but so it kind of sucks that these were damaged like that. We just got to get a better fence around these and they should be okay. All right, I'm going to do the ones along the road and then I'll probably do the rest of them. I don't think I'm going to show that, but we'll see. Okay, I got the American chestnut sprayed. I got to get back here with that stinkum and make sure that the deer don't bite the tops off of this. Now I got two trees right here and then two more chestnuts in the woods, and then the rest of them are right up in there. Well, since I last looked at these two trees down here in the woods, they've both been chewed up by something. Not super bad, but you can see they bite off the end, take chunks off the leaves. They bit off the top again, but this will be the new top, and it should be fine. But I got to get down here and spray that stinkum on these things. I can't do it today. I'm really running out of time, but tomorrow I'm going to get all of the trees with stinkum. It's deer repellent. I just call it stinkum. So let me get this sprayed and then get the last of the trees up there sprayed, and then we'll see where we go from there. All right, that's about it. This is the very last tree right at the edge of the yard here, right next to the big walnut. The pet cemetery, everything was sprayed, about a week and a half ago, and it's all nice and dyed back now. I got to get some rocks on Lucy's grave. Lucy is the rescue dog that we had when I first started this channel, and you could still see where she's buried right here. So I got to get that marked and get something planted here. And I also have a couple bags of this. This is that rubber mulch. It's pretty good stuff. All right, but what I really wanted to show you is the very first plant that I planted here, hens and chicks, and it is blooming. I think this is the second, maybe the third time that it's bloomed since it was planted. And I have to weed this every once in a while. It looks like it has an anthill right there going in there and over here, but it doesn't look like it's affecting it at all. This rock was pulled out of the woods right here to make this road. And as soon as he pulled it up here, I packed this crack with peat moss and planted this. Yeah, they really don't take much to survive. Super hardy little plant. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up. I'm going to have to do the rest of the stuff tomorrow. I have to get to work on some other stuff. What else do I have? Oh, I got to get Natalie to cut the billy road and a couple other things. Oh, spot kill the Japanese beetles and spray the stinkum on all of the trees. And I'm sure I'll have a bunch more stuff on my list by then. But I really got to finish up this outdoor stuff. And I have a ton of stuff to do in the shed, and I have to finish up the inside of the addition there. So hopefully tomorrow will be the last day. Oh, I still have to pick up all this stuff that I weeded before and the stuff in the road. But I'll get that done after I sign off. So if you want to see that stuff, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section below. And if you give the video a like and or share it, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.